Hey everyone, this is Sean Powell. I want to talk about something. This is not going to be talking about business specifically or anything like this. It's just something that I thought about last night. Matter of fact, and I kept putting it in my head trying to think of how exactly I wanted to say it. And this morning, I don't know why, but as soon as I woke up, it kept hitting me in the head. And I've always been the type of person that when something's like that, usually I need to say something, or something like that about it. And so anyhow, I was really thinking about this morning about when I was coming into online business, where I was at in my life, and how I was dealing with things. Um, One of the things that I've never really talked about is I'm a very easygoing person, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And even though I remember my aunt one time we were at a family get-together, and she's like, "Sean, to be honest, you've had a lot of things happen in your life, and if I wanted to let it bring me down, I could. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, my house burnt down when I was 15 years old. My mom passed away, when I was pretty early on in age. My dad's got Parkinson's. I was entirely blind in my right eye at the time I was about 16, 18 years old. Entirely blind. I was partially blind for a while. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I was looking to have pity parties, I could have seriously had one all the time. But I had realized that after my mom passed away, that I learned to stand on my feet real quick. And I was doing things a lot of people weren't doing, at an early age. I was racing motocross. I got to a point where I would literally had to just about go out of state to find people faster than me. So it made me learn how to apply, the work mentality, everything that I wanted to do to get to where I wanted to be at. And it made me very competitive by nature. And I've talked to some people before that got in my businesses, and I could tell, they used to race cars. They always come from motorcycles and stuff when I was a kid and stuff like that. And I could just kind of sense that about them as well. And I think that's a good trait to have. Then I went out into the restaurants when I was 17 years old. I literally became a general manager. I was still in high school. I was leaving school at 1 o'clock to go manage a restaurant. And I remember in the 11th grade, my science teacher told me I was one of the smartest and laziest people he knew. And the field trip had gone somewhere, and most of the students had left, and there was just a few of us, maybe about six in the class or something. And so he stayed with us, while we were in the classroom while we didn't go on the field trip. And the reason I couldn't go is because of work. And but I remember telling him, I said, and that's when he realized we had just a one-on-one conversation, how many hours I was working. Even at that time, I was getting out of school to go manage a restaurant, and I was working, about 45, 50 hours a week while in high school. And I think after that day, he kind of gave me a lot more respect for the fact that he really thought that I just didn't do my homework, and I ain't gonna lie, a lot of times I didn't at that school. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but that's kind of how I did. Um, but what I learned is, y'all, I was always a happy-go-lucky kind of person. And even when I got an online business or I found online business, it wasn't like I was unhappy moping around. You see what I'm saying? I was still happy every day, even though my little boy, I was having to take him to babysitters, sometimes at the last second trying to figure out how to get a babysitter, having a fallback system in case that it fell through for whatever reason for that day. If my little boy was sick, or if I was sick, what exactly did we have to do to make everything work? But that was a daily struggles. But you also, I appreciated them days off, man. This room right here, this wasn't here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a big island I've got. It's got a little, it's a little place to cook up here also. But the whole point was we didn't have this here, and I remember every day playing here on the floor with my little boy. My little boy could have stayed 2 years old forever, and I can tell you, I could not have been more happy. I loved every day. That's how I felt. I was blessed. That's how I felt like I was being blessed. And when I got in online business, I was still happy. And until I realized that I got an online business, that I had no way out, that's when I started waking up. You see what I'm saying? But the point was, I wasn't miserable. I wasn't like dead end in a job at the moment. I didn't never feel like that. I was still doing good. I was being recognized by the business for talking to people on a regular basis. I'd have, comment cards go to the home office, phone calls and things like that because that was my personality. I like talking to people. I like and public relations kind of guy was really my big thing in my job. Okay, so I had that going for me. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. But when I got in online business, y'all, if you could picture a car being full of gas, I mean, if you ever pump gas to the point you can see it sticking out the top, and it's sitting there to the tip top full, or a lawnmower filling up the gas to the point it could not go any farther without splashing over. That's what the enthusiasm and the excitement felt like inside of me when I got in that online business. And it changed something inside. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was being blessed the entire time. And to me, sometimes God does things and you can feel it at that time. A lot of times things happen, you won't see it until later and then come back to it. This was one of those times it wasn't like that. I knew God was pushing me in the direction I needed to go in. I knew that. And so I couldn't sleep. I would lay in bed, my little boy would be right there beside me. And I was like, I wonder if I do this. I was trying to put together Craigslist at that time. I remember that was one of the big things. Because I collected arcade games, that's all I knew people, get in for Craigslist. So I was trying to figure out how to make Craigslist work for me. And I was laying in bed and I was like, if I do this, I wonder, I had to get up and find out. It was that burn in my belly that wouldn't go away that made me bounce off the walls. And not only that, y'all, for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had something to live for, harder than, not just my little boy and me. I had something bigger there. And I knew that I had to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I understood that God was showing me the things I needed to show me. Here's one of them right here, y'all. The stand right here, right? $4 stand. I know I talk about it quite a bit in some of my older videos. What you don't know is I bought this stand for no reason before I ever saw online business. A $4 stand came from Hong Kong, took about a month to get here. Why did I buy it? I don't know. I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? I really did not need it. Same week, I got my first phone. I was making computers and stuff like that, but for whatever reason, I wound up getting my phone. I don't know why. Again, things were just fitting into place in a way that was very unusual. It felt like God was taking me in this direction, and I knew I needed to take it. Okay. What I'm trying to describe to you right now, y'all, is the fact that some of y'all are waking up every day and you're not happy with the situation you're in, but you're still your choice. You got to make a decision. Are you going to be happy today, or are you going to let the day be a terrible day because of that? And it's your choice. It is your decision. It's your choice to make things how it, and to be honest, God gave you this day. You know what I'm saying? Now you may have goals set for yourself and you haven't reached it, but you were still given the day, and you need to live it the best you can. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all, you like, I can't stand my house, it's so small. Some of you like, I can't stand my car. I don't want to drive my car anymore. I'm tired of it. It's breaking down. I can't afford to buy a different car and stuff like that. But y'all, it's more about perception than anything else. If you think about it, if you woke up today, the lifestyle you're living right now, if you woke up today with your health gone, and if you lived the next 2 months worrying about you dying of whatever, you know what I'm saying? I mean, bad things happening, you would give anything to have this day that you've got today. You see what I'm saying? It's about perception. And what that tells you is God gives you what you need today. You're just looking at it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something a lot of y'all think about. You're taking your goals and you're saying, you know what? I will be happy when I reach my goal. Well, you know what? Reaching your goal may make you happy, but you need to be happy today to get there. Because I think that's God's test for you. Because no matter what the goal is, where you get in life, you're going to level it back off again. And over a period of time, you're going to be the same old self again. You got to learn to change the way you think. And y'all, that can be as easy as a decision in the morning time, whether or not you're going to be happy today, is you going to make it a productive day, or what? Now, when I was getting out to people right from the get-go, and I didn't know what I was doing, I had this fuel inside of me that was toting me, and it made me stand out. People could sense it, they could feel it, and you can't have that if I'm hating life every day, if I can't smile, and that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all, that could be the difference right now. When you jump in your car in the morning time, y'all, and you're going to work or whatever, and you hate your work, you hate your house, you hate your car, you hate everything, right? Not happy with the situation. Y'all, it's your life. You put yourself there. If not, who's living it? I've said that before in videos. You're responsible for where you're at. You're also responsible for you going to where you're going to go. You got to change the way you think. Some of you need to get around some books. You need to get around away from some of the people you're around sometimes. Whatever you need to do to get that right mindset. You get up in the morning. You don't want to get up to go to work. First thing you need to say to yourself, y'all, is thank God God gave me today so I can do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm healthy. I can get out there. I can do something to change something today. I'm going to live the day the best I can. Then you get up and you jump in your car. You don't like your car. Instead of saying, I wish I had a different car. I hate this car. Thank God that God gave me this car to get me where I need to go so I can get farther along and better where I'm at, where I'm supposed to be at, where that next level is, where my goals are. Thank God I've got my job to get me where I need to get and what I want to get and what I want to accomplish in my job. In my life right now. Thank God I've got that, because without it, I'd be in a mess. If it was taken away from you, if you lose your house, look, Carolyn, how small it is, and you come so close to losing it, in the last second you get it back, whatever reason, the loan goes through, whatever, that you get to keep your house. You're not going to look at that house the same. When you're standing on the outside, notice you're about to lose everything, perception changes. That perception's always there. God's giving you what you need. You're just not looking at it right. See what I'm saying? That's the thoughts I was having last night and this morning. And I woke up and it was still there. And I was like, this isn't about business. I know it's not, but it can be. You don't need to wait thinking that I've got to get to this next level before I'm happy. You need to be happy now, because people aren't going to want to talk to you. They're not going to want to listen to you if you're too much of a pity on yourself. You're having too many pity parties that they're not going to connect with you. They need to see that fire inside of you. They got to see that I'm going somewhere. A leader, y'all, when they're excited and they got a burn in their belly, people will follow them and don't even know what they're doing. I know that. I've seen it. Even as a kid, when I was 19 years old, my dad was in Amway. I was in Amway at 19, too broke to do anything, obviously, at that time. But I would see people that were on fire that would come in there, and it was real. You know what I'm saying? I could tell it. And that got me, and it got me from reading books and things like that. That's something else God did for me. I wasn't so in the books every day that I was, bouncing off the walls because of it at that time. I was at 19, but at the same time, I knew the answers to a lot of things from the books I read when I was 19 years old. And because of that, my little boy grew up thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the one to tell him no 10,000 times. You know what I'm saying? I knew not to take life for granted. I knew even when I worked a lot, stuff like that, he still wanted to be with me. And I think a lot of that was because of the fact that I was happy. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't let life bring me down, even though it could have. Anyhow, y'all, I just wanted to go ahead and end this. I know the kids will probably start coming in pretty soon here in North Carolina. Usually they come in and play out video games and arcade games. I got big ones in my house. That was one of my dreams. So I always have a big arcade. And I'm looking at Miss Pac-Man right now. It's right behind you. I painted it myself. Took 9 hours of painting. A good deal of it laying on my side. But that was a dream of mine that came true. So y'all, I want you to make your goals, but at the same time, You got to make that decision every morning that you're going to be happy and you're going to live that day to the fullest, because it may not be there. You may never reach your goals. And God gave you that day for today for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I'd just share that with you. I may have some thoughts like this. This is what reading, this is what reading does for you, to be honest. So, but y'all subscribe to my channel, and if you look in business, click the link down below. Appreciate it.